Hello, Internet, and welcome back to ReZero with your host, Alaris, here for another riveting tactical visual novel experience. I lied. Hopefully it is entertaining, however, it is not tactical in any way. You know, I don't want to hear that, but where the fudge were we?
Off to the royal capital we go.
Yes, we should be able to get there a little past fire time if we hurry.
Okay, so right, we were
How many times do I have to tell you?
trying to get to the capital without Amelia to hopefully prevent the witch cult thing from happening.
I don't remember making any promises to you a month back.
I get that. It just makes me so sad every time you say it.
Huh? What do you mean? You've been here before. Sorry, didn't mean to make you feel bad.
I've come here over 10 times by now. But for you, this is only our second encounter.
You realize how crazy you sound, right?
And we're practically strangers. How am I supposed to recognize you?
With that, the shopkeeper glares at me with his tough-looking, scarred face. If you've never met him before, he looks pretty menacing. But this guy is a really good person at heart, so there's actually nothing to be afraid of.
You heard him, Subaru. We shouldn't distract him from his work any further.
I understand, Rem, but look around us. No one else even dares to come close to his stall. You can hardly call him busy.
You little... Ooh. If you're just gonna screw around, then go somewhere else.
I'm not screwing around. I'm here for a perfectly good reason, even if you don't remember.
What do you keep going on about? What is it you want, anyway?
To buy some appas.
I promised you I'd come back as a customer, so I'm here to buy some appas.
Oh. So you really are a customer, eh? I thought you were just being a thorn in my side for no reason.
You're such a kidder. I'll have Rem here turn these appas into delicious baked snacks. So, give me 10 of them. Also...
Sure thing. Thanks for the business. What else did you want?
Also, I want you to deliver a message to Old Man Rom.
Huh? You know the old man?
You don't have to be so suspicious. He helped me out one time while I was here in the capital. I wouldn't ask you to relay a message to him if I didn't know the guy beforehand, right?
I guess so. Well, alright then. What do you want me to tell him?
Reinhardt has what he's looking for. He should know what I mean.
Setting poor old man Ram up. There's no reason... You should see how this plays out without that happening. Have Felt quit. See how it plays out. The meeting to explain why the royal selection's been delayed will happen with or without Emilia in the royal capital. Felt and Melty will make their debut as candidates. There's a good chance Felt will drop out if Old Man Ram doesn't barge in and get captured. That'd be exactly what the imposter wants. I can't let that happen no matter what. The royal selection can't start just because any 5 people gather in the castle. They have to have the proper rights and goals to compete with one another.
Emilia coming out on top with all that considered would be the best scenario. I'll take care of any problems that come our way. But for now...
Subaru, I'm going to reserve an inn. What will you do?
Let's see... I gotta go somewhere. So, I guess we'll part ways and...
Very well. Then I shall accompany you.
No, that wouldn't be efficient. We don't really need to stick together.
No, I am going with you. I made a promise with Master Roswell and Miss Amelia.
You're super assertive today. I guess it's okay then. Not like I have any reason to refuse.
In fact, no one knows what might happen now. The attack on the royal capital shifted from when I thought it was originally going to occur. It's actually much better if we stick together. I wouldn't have to worry about anything in that case.
Okay then, let's go together.
Great. So, where are we going?
About that, I want to go to church and say a few prayers.
He lied.
This is the church. What did you say you needed from here?
Well, actually, I'm not here to pray. I need to meet with the people inside.
I stick out my chin while I look the church over, with Rem also looking at the building.
Now that I think about it, this will be my first time meeting Melty.
That encounter happened after she'd heard the news about us defeating the Dusk Bandits. She was among the group of people welcoming us into the capital. She blended in with the crowd, considering how she looked so plain. This time around, we didn't defeat the Dusk Bandits. So naturally, we weren't given a big welcome and didn't get the chance to meet Melty.
I've gotta be careful what I say in front of her. This is the first time we're meeting after all.
Is something the matter, Subaru?
No, it's nothing. By the way, is this the church that worships the Holy Dragon?
I'm not too familiar with this church, but I believe it is. Lagunica reveres the noble dragon Lord Volcanica due to our covenant. This church was built to honor that.
You mean like, this is how they express their thanks to the Holy Dragon?
I believe so, though I am not too pious myself.
Still, there are a lot of people around here who are.
I'd say that's pretty natural. Basically, the dragon is like a god in this world, but its existence has been proven. That changes a lot of things about how a god would work, if its existence is straight 1000% proven. Unlike the gods who don't meddle in the affairs of the world, even when their followers pray, the dragon apparently does offer its help.
Taking that into consideration, I can understand why they like to cling to it so much. Maybe I should convert.
From what? What are you worshipping, actually?
I think that would be wonderful. The doors to the church are always open.
Ah, that voice.
Oh, I'm sorry to sneak up on you. I am a nun in this church.
She lied.
And you couldn't pass up the chance to recruit another potential parishioner, eh?
That's right. I was only appointed here recently, so I'd like to get along with the citizens of the royal capital, but things don't often turn out as well as you hope.
Oh, really? That's, unexpected.
I think back to the get-together we had and how she acted at the church. She was always surrounded by people, so I never thought she'd have trouble getting along with everyone. In any case...
If it's okay with you, can we talk inside?
If you have the time to spare, that is. I don't mind one bit. Please, come in. Tiga! Tiga, are you there?
Yes, I'm right here. You sure came back in high spirits, Mel. Did something... Oh.
Hey, bestie. You seem to be doing well.
Subaru? What are you doing here?
Weren't you the one who told me you worked at this church? Since I came to the royal capital, I thought I'd pop by for a little visit.
We only just met. What a quick reunion this is.
Huh? Huh? You two already know each other?
Well, of course.
Yes, I am surprised as well. You were one of the messengers who came to the manor yesterday, right? Messenger. Oh, so you two are just like me, a royal candidate.
Mel!
Huh? Oh.
See, why would she hide that? There's literally no reason. Tiga puts a hand to his forehead while Melty quickly covers her mouth. But it's too late. Melty totally lets her tongue slip, exposing who she truly is. Then again, only Rem and I are here to hear it.
Royal candidate. Then this nun is the last candidate to be revealed.
Subaru and Rem, was it? Please don't misunderstand. There's a reason Mel is hiding her identity for the time being. And that's...
Because the Council of Wise Men told her to keep quiet?
That's right. You're a sharp one.
It's pretty obvious once you think about it. Especially by process of elimination. I guess it's also possible that some higher up in the church would want you to keep quiet.
But, as for the Council of Wise Men, they're far more concerned about the identity of the fake candidate. This is their first precaution. Knowing about Melty's existence in and of itself would put me in the forefront of potential imposters. Pretty unreasonable, but...
Huh?
keep this a secret.
So, you want me to lie for you, is that it?
Huh? That wasn't my intention. Subaru, you should not tease the royal candidate like that.
But it's so fun.
We are here as representatives of Miss Amelia. We must act accordingly.
Yeah, I know. Let's start over then, shall we?
Start over?
My name is Subaru Natsuki, and she's Rem. What's your name?
Yes, I am Melty Pristis. It's so nice to meet you.
Sheesh, you were really good at calming Mel down back there. Are you actually a ladies' man?
No, he is not. Tiga blurts this out after we move to the dining area.
You think I'm a ladies' man? Don't be ridiculous. If I were good at dealing with women, I wouldn't be running so many circles around Mealy. I haven't made any progress with her.
It is true. Subaru is not at all a ladies' man. Rem finds that quite adorable.
I can't deny that, even if it does sting a little.
That's not really something to be proud of.
But you two seem to hold a great deal of trust in one another. You must have a wonderful relationship.
You're right about that. But it's more like how you and Tiga are so trusting of one another.
I see. Of course, I'd appreciate it if Mel shared the sentiment.
Oh no, you've got it all wrong. Tiga is only with me because we're childhood friends.
Aww.
Ah, childhood friends. I see now. So that's how you know each other.
After hearing this revelation, I figure out the secret to their relationship. I've always thought these two seemed rather close. Now that I know they're childhood friends, I'm convinced. But...
So, you've been connected at the hip since childhood, huh? You must have it pretty hard, Tiga.
I'm glad you picked up on that. I've been struggling for many years now. I'd like my perseverance to be commended every now and then.
Melty's reaction to Tiga's strife is concerning. Now I just feel sorry for him.
Before I go on, here's a gift. I thought it'd be rude if we showed up empty-handed.
Wow, thank you. These appas look delicious.
I hand over the appas, and Melty's lips form a big smile as she receives them.
I'm sure that scary-looking shopkeeper would be happy to know how much you like these.
I'll cut these up later and enjoy some with Tiga.
If we had more time, I would have wanted to have Rem bake you something sweet instead.
She doesn't like sweet things, remember?
A dessert made from appas. If you'd like, Rem can still fulfill your requests, Subaru.
Well, we can save that for another time. So, I hope you look forward to it.
Wonderful!
By the way, what did you want to speak to us about? You're being awfully friendly here. Are you plotting something?
That's pretty rude. Melty was the one who exposed herself to us. I haven't done anything.
That's not phrasing.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Mel. Don't take it the wrong way. There really isn't any other way to put it. But I do hope you'll be more careful from here on out.
That wasn't very consoling.
Now then, Subaru. Master Tiga seems to be wondering as well. But about the reason we came here.
Since we're in town, I thought we'd say hi to a few of our acquaintances. But things are a little different now, knowing Melty's a royal candidate.
Meaning...
No need to worry. That just means we can be on friendlier terms with one another.
Do you mean to say that Miss Amelia and I will be allies? I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, I agree. It's better to have more friends than enemies, after all.
Words to live by. But you could also say that incompetent allies may be more harmful than a competent enemy.
As he says so, Tiga glares right at me. I sit up straight at his intense stare. Tiga seems to be a bit more wary of me than last time. Could it be due to how I found out about Melty's situation? But I'm not the one at fault here, so I don't know how to respond to that.
I don't doubt that. I want you to take a good hard look at me and judge that for yourself. I don't want to be seen as incompetent, but I wouldn't exactly say I'm all that competent either. I like to think I'm somewhere in the middle.
I see. I understand. You seem like the hard-working type. You're already running all over the royal capital spreading around that idea.
I wouldn't say it like that. Like I said earlier, I just want to have as many allies as possible because you never know where enemies may be lurking. Danger can come at a moment's notice. Whether it be political rivals, assassins, or even bandits.
Bandits, huh?
I completely agree. We should always help each other when we're in need.
Exactly. If it ever came down to it, I'd like for you to help us out. That's why I'm bribing you with those appas.
I just accepted a bribe?
Melty's panicked look puts a smile on my face, though I'm a little uncomfortable with how off-putting this situation seems. It could be said that Melty's camp was the friendliest towards us in previous loops. Melty's attitude hasn't changed in that sense. But maybe it was because I went to the church too early, or there was an issue with my demeanor, because Tiga seems to be strangely wary of me. But there's no point in worrying about what's already unfolded. I just have to be careful when I talk to the other candidates. I also hope Tiga and I can talk like we used to.
You are quite late. I was worried something may have happened along the way.
I am terribly sorry, Miss Cruchet. And unlike what was previously discussed,
Miss Amelia isn't with Mew. And after Miss Cruchet took the time to meet Mew in person, that doesn't make Mew look too good, Mew now.
I apologize once more.
We just arrived at the mansion, and Rem is already bowing her head in apology to Cruchet and Ferris. The reason it turned out this way is because our schedule fell behind when we visited the church. Not to mention that Emilia isn't with us. And since I made the call on both those points...
I'm the one at fault here, not Rem. I made us late, and Amelia isn't here because of me.
From what I gather, you must be the one mentioned in the letter. I believe your name was...
Subaru Natsuki. I'm sorry for being so disrespectful.
The letter she mentions is the one Roswell sent to Cruchet prior to us meeting now. The contents of the letter mention a request to have my gate treated, as well as to look after Emilia, who is not here notably.
Regarding your treatment, I have prepared for the best healing mage in the kingdom to look after you. As for the conditions of accepting the arrangement, we have already come to an agreement with Margrave Mathers. But there is still one issue to address.
As she says so, Cruchet turns back to me. Based on my past experiences with her, I sense that she wants to bring up something that would be difficult to discuss with me here.
Don't worry, Cruchet. I have a letter from Roswell explaining my role in this. Rem and I are official representatives of Amelia.
I see. I will take a look.
I had over the letter I'd been keeping in my pocket. Cruchet reads through it rather quickly. Then...
I must ask you one thing, Subaru Natsuki.
Yes?
It is true the Margrave wrote this letter expressing that you are his and Amelia's representatives. However, this letter is not but mere paper. You must keep in mind responsibility lies upon the one who bears it. Do you understand the meaning of this? Are you prepared to take on that weight?
Cruchet's overpowering aura, as she asks that question, makes me feel like it's burning me alive. All this pressure is making it hard for me to breathe. I try to sink my body down, but Cruchet's intensity is unwavering. My lungs feel like they've collapsed. I'm at a loss for words as my voice catches in my throat. Yet, despite this suffocating atmosphere, a fire of my own wells up inside me. The pressure, the fear, the despair I felt in that moment, nothing can overwrite that. A nightmare that washes everything in white and puts the world in an icy slumber. To overcome that,
I am prepared. You may not see it that way, but it's true. I'm ready. And I fully understand that my conviction can't be proven with that letter alone.
Bro. In the end, no matter what I say, nothing can describe what I've seen. If she thinks I'm just talking up my ass and assumes I'm lying, it'll be over. Very well.
I understand. I shall return this letter to you. I, too, recognize you and Rem as the Margrave's representatives.
Miss Cruchet, are you sure?
I inquired about the strength of his resolve, and I am satisfied with his answer. Whether they can achieve any results is dependent on their actions and devotion to their cause.
I thank you for your kindness, Miss Cruchet.
Do not thank me. I will fulfill your requests. Please await a formal reply tomorrow.
Well then, you heard Miss Cruchet. Hey, Subaru,
Huh?
don't harm me. Keeping quiet like that is rude, Mew, no. Why aren't Mew more excited or rubbing your head on the floor?
Why would I rub my head on the floor? Anyway, I was just so surprised that I couldn't speak.
Time completely froze for me until Ferris spoke. I thought for sure I'd get eaten alive, but I managed to survive by holding my ground.
Your expression has changed. Now you look like a completely different person. Perhaps I misjudged you.
Wait, Crochet! You can't go back on your word now!
I am merely joking. I sense a powerful, sincere wind emanating from you. Although, it is a precarious one.
Is that a poem or something?
Never mind that. Now, I cannot go into great detail regarding the letter, but since you're here, you may as well stay for dinner tonight.
Since she was prepared to welcome Miss Amelia, it's a pretty nice setup.
Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, right.
Ferris's sarcastic remark reminds me to pull out a bag, which I show the two of them. They should already know what's inside.
This is my bribe. Please accept it.
I hand over the bag of appas as proof of our friendship. Just straight up called it a bribe, alright. The next day, after having dinner at Cruchet's Manor...
Good morning, Mr. Subaru. I have come to get you.
Wilhelm? You went out of your way to come here?
Today is the first day of your treatment as agreed upon. Ferris can be quite busy in a manner of speaking, so I was sent to fetch you.
The man bowing in front of me is Wilhelm, an associate of Cruchet's. In any case, this is the first time he's been sent to come get me.
Is this because I was late yesterday?
I would not know. I merely came here as Ferris had instructed me.
That cute-faced little... So, Ferris is the type to hold grudges, huh?
That is Ferris's nature, and Miss Cruchet tends not to interfere.
Is that so? Oh, right. About what we were talking about yesterday.
There is no need to rush. Miss Cruchet is not one to heedlessly fret over such matters. I will not ask you to hold your breath, but instead that you please just wait a little longer.
Right. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Heeding Wilhelm's advice, I keep my expectations in check. Still, what he's saying makes sense. Unlike last time, Emilia isn't here with me, and at this point, no one outside of the involved parties knows why the royal selection has been delayed. That means I'm missing a key component to help push Cruchet's decision along. The contents of Roswell's letter had to do with establishing friendly relations between Emilia and Cruchet's camp. One could say that it's something like an invitation to form an alliance. As for whether Cruchet will accept or not, it's still too soon for her to give us a clear answer.
There isn't much time left.
It's frustrating, but I'm the only one who knows all this. But if I go on about a threat without evidence to back up my claims, people will just dismiss me and call me crazy. The number of lives at stake is just too great. I need to stay calm and keep the situation under control.
I feel like I'm slowly losing my edge.
Is something wrong, Subaru? If something is bothering you...
I don't know. I just feel like my humanity is about to deteriorate. Do you notice anything about the look in my eyes? It doesn't look worse than before, does it?
No, there is no cause for concern. Your eyes have always been very distinctive. Rem is always flustered when looking into them.
Rem is so adorable. Why won't he just choose her?
I guess that's one way to put it.
Pardon me, but will you be ready soon? I have a dragon carriage awaiting you, so please allow me to take you to the manor.
Oh, sorry. We're good to go.
Excuse me. Is it alright if I come as well? I'm worried about Subaru. and I would like to observe Master Felix's healing arts.
I don't think Ferris would mind. But are you also familiar with the healing arts, Miss Rem?
Yes, that is why I would like to see Master Felix the Blue at work.
I see. I admire how studious you are.
Thank you. Someone I know often injures himself, and I worry about his health.
We won't name any names here.
You're quite a lucky fellow, Subaru.
Yeah, it really helps that everyone takes good care of me. That includes you too, Wilhelm.
You have interpreted my sentiment a bit differently than I intended. But very well. Let us make way to the dragon carriage.
With that, we get into the carriage waiting for us in front of the inn, and get taken to Cruchet's manor for the first time since last night. Then...
Uncle! Uncle!
Jeez, you exaggerate too much. I haven't done anything that terrible to Mew, have I?
You think this isn't terrible? You're basically a doctor. Don't you understand how your patients feel?
What a mean thing to say. Fairy is hurt. Maybe I should tell Anita Miss Cruchet.
Why, you?
Bleh.
Hung out, Ferris claps while dodging my spiteful gaze. Ferris's treatment is as usual, but it still felt like my insides were being mixed with a blender.
Think about it calmly. My body resets every time I return by death, so the treatment will never be finished.
Meow, meow. You don't need to moan about it so much. These things are most painful in the beginning, so it will gradually ease up, meow.
He says, not knowing the truth.
Quiet, you. You're just adding insult to injury. I've had to go through that most painful part so many times already.
Huh? What do you mean? Has your gate been clogged many times before? You should have learned your lesson by now.
It can't be helped, but Ferris sees the world completely different from me, so our conversation isn't quite lining up.
Well, aside from the stubborn Subaru, what about Mew, Rem? Did Mew learn anything useful?
Yes, thank you for your consideration. It was a great learning experience. However...
Yes?
What you did so naturally was so advanced that it may be difficult for Rem to reproduce such methods. Perhaps I can manage an imitation of the key points at best.
Not even you can do it, Rem?
Seeing Rem's lack of confidence and disheartened reaction, I honestly can't help but be surprised, considering she was the one who healed my wounds before. Out of the members of the Roswell Manor, Emilia, Rem, and Beatrice are the ones who can use healing magic. Based on what I've heard, Emilia isn't very good at it, so really it's just Rem and Beatrice who are the two specialists.
Rem is nowhere near Miss Beatrice's level. Lord Roswell has taken the trouble of teaching me, yet I am still inadequate.
Wouldn't that make Roswell a bad teacher then?
I've been told he's an amazing magician, but they say many geniuses struggled with teaching things that come so easily to them.
Maybe Roswell is like that too. Like he just makes a bunch of noises when he tries to teach people things.
Mew sure say the craziest things, Subaru. Mew know that Margrave Mathers is the greatest magician in the entire kingdom and the head of the Royal Court Magicians, right? Someone like that couldn't be bad at teaching others. Although... Now, this is just a rumor, but I've heard the Margrave isn't good at using healing magic.
Really?
Yes, it is true Lord Roswell is not proficient in healing magic. However, he has ordered textbooks for me starting from the most basic ones, and has been very thorough in his support.
Huh. That's kinda unexpected. Or maybe not.
Roswell's a free spirit who acts pretty nonchalant about everything, but there's no doubt that he cherishes Rem and Ram greatly. Some time ago, he reacted with anger when he lost Rem during that loop at the mansion. His attitude from that time proves it.
But if that's true, have you and your sister known Roswell for a long time, Rem?
Yes, we've worked for him since we were little. Ever since our village was burned down.
That escalated quickly!
maybe this has to do with what Ram had mentioned maybe this has to do with what Ram had mentioned something in... Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense. Maybe it has something to do with what Ram mentioned in passing a while ago. She said her village was engulfed in flames.
Oh, Rem, I'm sorry.
It's quite alright. Rem has already come to terms with it. But you are very kind, Subaru.
If this is me being kind, I guess I set the bar pretty low.
Once Mew make up your mind on something, Mew lose sight of everything else. Though, Barry understands how Mew feel. Barry is head over heels for Miss Cruchet's noble character.
Speaking of that Cruchet that you love so much, how are things coming along since we last spoke?
Really, Meow? You're so hasty, Subaru. Don't Mew remember what Miss Cruchet said? She said she'll think about it, so just trust her and wait patiently. And don't worry, she'll treat Mew well.
You and Wilhelm said the same thing.
Meow? Mew asked Old Man Will about this? Now Mew know how in sync we all are.
Yeah, I guess.
All I can do in the face of Ferris's amused laughter is nod along, a forlorn expression on my face. A combination of the discomfort from having my insides stirred up, and the inexplicable sense of fretfulness. They make it abundantly clear that I'm anxious to do something about the situation as quickly as possible.
Now that we're finished with your treatment, we should unwind for the day and head back to the inn.
Not so fast, Rem. Do you remember what our goal is in coming to the royal capital?
To investigate why the royal selection has been postponed, as well as your objective to recruit more allies for Miss Amelia.
Exactly. Healing my gait is just a bonus. I do understand you're just worried about me, Rem.
Yet you still push yourself. I understand. Looking after you is also a part of Rem's duties. Miss Amelia and Lord Roswell did leave you in my care after all. Please leave everything to Rem.
Yeah, that'll be a big help.
So, what exactly will we be doing? Have you formulated some kind of plan?
For now, I think we should pay each of the royal candidates a visit. Do you know anything about them?
I'm not acquainted with many of them, but I have heard about the types of people they are. There are Miss Melty and Miss Cruchet, both of whom we met yesterday, the chairwoman from Kararagi, Miss Anastasia, and the aristocrat of Lagunica, Miss Priscilla. With 5 candidates, the royal selection will be a battle between Miss Amelia and those 4.
Rem counts out the candidates on her fingers as she fills me in. However, the truth is a bit different than what Rem currently knows. What I mean is, Felt will be revealed as the 6th candidate at the briefing that will be held at the castle tomorrow.
According to Tika, the order in which Felt and Melty were found is different depending on who you talk to.
Either way, since the announcement would take place tomorrow, that part isn't really important.
Anyway, I want to pay a visit to the other 2 candidates, but
But
both are pretty quirky. Or rather, they have some more worrying qualities about them.
Of all the candidates, Anastasia and Priscilla are the trickiest to deal with. Anastasia is a businesswoman, and I know I'm no match for her in a verbal duel. On the other hand, the issue with Priscilla has more to do with her personality, and I have no idea if she'll even listen to us. But if we're talking about the fake 6th candidate and all that, there's plenty of reason to suspect these 2. As I thought before, if the 6th candidate is vying for the throne in place of the real one, Amelia and Felt are at a disadvantage from the beginning. Amelia is a half-elf that everyone hates on for some arbitrary reason or another, and Felt is an orphan from the slums. Going out of the way to make either of them out to be the imposter is like giving up on winning from the get-go. I still believe Amelia has what it takes to win, though. Logically, that means the imposter is one of the remaining 4. Among them, I've already seen for myself that Cruchet and Melty aren't faking anything, he said incorrectly. That's why the last two were so suspicious. Between them, the most suspicious one
Anastasia
is...
was attacked by Wolf when she was with me.
I honestly don't remember much because I was so frantic back then, but it didn't seem like Anastasia was acting. If Wolf is targeting the royal candidates, and Anastasia was the one he was after...
Wait.
I think it through to that point, then realized something strange. Wolf's position in all this is completely unclear. Because of the tragedy that occurred at the royal capital from last time, I thought he was part of the witch cult, and one of Betelgeuse's comrades. But if that's the case, why would Wolf go after Anastasia? Aren't the royal candidates unrelated to the witch cult's objectives?
Could it be that the two aren't affiliated? Even though they were both at the scene at the same time, were they actually not working together?
If I think back on it calmly, I may have subconsciously considered the fake candidates and the witch cult to be unrelated issue. Honestly, I don't know what the witch cult's true goal is, but thinking back to Betelgeuse's crazed behavior, he doesn't seem like a terrorist attacking a nation with a purpose. Their scope is much narrower, and they're more like a group of hopeless deviants. With that in mind...
With Anastasia being a target, it shouldn't be a bad idea to warn her.
It appears you have made up your mind, Subaru.
Rem has been patiently waiting next to me for my response as I mull things over. I give her a firm nod.
Yeah, I've got a plan. Let's go visit each of the candidates, starting with Anastasia.
Understood. However, it is unclear whether she is still in the royal capital.
About that, I've actually got an idea where she might be.
You do? But how?
Oh, right. Roswell gave me a heads up.
I see. As expected of Lord Roswell, Rem admires how Subaru makes such good use of his advice.
Isn't that a bit much? And so, here we are at the tavern I had in mind.
A tavern? But the smell of food is more fragrant than the smell of alcohol.
Yeah, they serve lunch during the day. It's apparently only in tavern mode at night.
It's too bad I'd never visited the tavern at night, but since I can't drink, I don't plan on doing so anytime soon.
Putting aside this place's business model, the objective of our visit is...
I look around the inside of the tavern. When it comes to finding Anastasia, this is the only place I know. The main problem, however, is that she'll actually be here tomorrow, not today. It'd be great if she's here today too, but...
That'd be too much to hope for, huh?
Right as I'm about to call it quits.
Sorry for bumping into you. I should have watched where I was going. I hope you're okay.
No, it's fine. Wait, you're...
Mister, do you know Mimi? Have we met somewhere before? I can't remember at all.
The cat-eared girl, rather the cat girl in front of me, laughs, and I immediately recognize her. Plus, her name is easy to remember, since she refers to herself in the first person. That's right, she's...
Hey, Mimi! It's not good to get in other people's way. I'm so sorry about her. I hope she hasn't injured you or anything.
My lady! Mimi didn't do anything! It was just a tiny bump! And I even apologized right after! I've grown up so much!
Yes, I'm glad you apologized right away. But make no mistake. Whether or not you receive forgiveness is entirely dependent on how the other person feels about your apology.
What? That's super serious! Hey, mister, are you the kind of person who can't forgive Mimi? Mister?
Subaru? What's wrong?
I...
Huh? It's not I. It's Mimi! That's Mimi's name! Say it if you understand!
I found you!
Huh?
I don't think he needed to be that loud about it, but okay.
How interesting. So you're saying that you, Natsuki, and Rem here are both from Amelia's camp?
Yes, that is correct. We apologize for the sudden intrusion.
It's fine. This isn't my home or anything. And we just happened to run into each other at the same eatery. That's really all there is to it.
Anastasia then has us sit at a table and talks with us. I'm really glad for how things turned out, but...
With Mimi bumping into you, we must have been brought here today for a reason. I'm a firm believer in fate, you know.
Oh, I see. I didn't expect that from you. I thought all you merchants were more pragmatic.
Of course, being grounded is important. I run a company, and I won't get anywhere with intuition alone or by reading the weather. But once you've exhausted all your wits, it can be exactly those superstitions that affect the outcome at the end of the day. That's why I don't take things like luck or prayer so lightly.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't trying to demean you.
It's fine. I'm not mad or anything. I'm only saying that there are such ways of thinking out there.
With a cheerful smile, Anastasia lets me off the hook. Her smile has a sense of elegance to it.
Hey, my lady! Mimi wants some more hamburgers! Can I buy some?
That's fine. Run along. Eat as many as you'd like.
Yay! Woohoo!
It seems she really likes the food here.
Yep. I brought her once, and she's been hooked ever since. At this rate, I'll have to bring her here every day while I'm in the royal capital.
That's probably not a good idea.
Why not?
I speak without thinking, but of course Anastasia would pick up on it. Her turquoise eyes stare right through me. I swallow hard at her gaze.
Well, for example, if you ever develop a fixed pattern of behavior, won't some bad people figure out your routines and come after you? The royal capital can be pretty dangerous.
Oh my. Could it be that you're worried about me, Natsuki? Was I wrong in assuming that you only cared for Amelia?
Mealy will always be my number one. But these are two separate things we're talking about here.
Are they now? It may be strange to say, but if I were out of the picture, would it not be beneficial for Amelia?
I guess, when you put it like that.
I get where Anastasia is coming from, but I don't even want to think about that. Besides, I already saw it with my own eyes. Anastasia and Amelia talking on friendly terms and enjoying themselves. There's no need to hate each other just because we're rivals, so it's not like I want Anastasia to just disappear.
Sorry, that was silly of me.
Huh?
I didn't expect you to look so sad. You're such a strange boy, Natsuki.
That is one part of what makes Subaru so wonderful.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I guess my face looked pretty pathetic just now.
It's our first time meeting, at least in her eyes, so it must have been pretty bad for her to bring it up. I knead my face with my hands as I turn to face Anastasia again.
Well, I'll keep your pathetic face in mind, along with your warning to be careful. Oh, and by the way, how'd you know I'd be in this tavern today?
Ah, that's a trade secret.
Trade secret? What are you going on about now? Are you trying to stonewall me out of the most important part? Oh, or are you challenging me? You want me to extract the information out of you, huh? That's awfully bold of you.
I don't think that's where that was going at all. Her smile exudes an intensity so strong, I hurriedly shake my head and hands in denial.
Wait! That's not what I meant! Your face screams that you have all sorts of ways to get whatever information you desire from me.
I do have all sorts of ways to get whatever information I desire from you.
Creepy.
You actually said it?!
Miss Anastasia, Subaru is quite terrified, so I ask that you please put an end to your jokes.
But he's so receptive. It's just too much fun. Oh, no need to get so upset, Rem. How frightening.
After laughing for a moment, Anastasia takes a small breath. Then...
So, what are you actually here for?
The air about us changes dramatically.
How do I put this? Great people have a particular aura about them when you cut right to the chase.
I try to hold in the goosebumps as I mutter under her pressure. which rivals that of Cruchet's that I experienced just yesterday. Meanwhile, I mentally prepare myself. If I don't, my own willpower will crumble under the weight of this pressure. Once I'm ready, I lift my head and compose myself. I let out a laugh and continue the conversation. Ha, ha, ha.
It's simple. Someone is targeting you, Anastasia. I wanted to give you a heads up.
Huh? So I'm in danger, eh?
The guy after you has some weird fashion sense, all dressed up like some sort of clown. But it isn't Roswell, just so you know.
My, what a surprise. For a moment there, I thought you were declaring war against me.
Images of Roswell and Wolf appear in the back of my mind, and I note their shared troublesome characteristics. They're both eccentric, that's for sure.
Though, unlike Roswell, this guy is extremely dangerous and problematic. So...
You wanted to warn me about this danger. This is very unexpected.
Huh? You're not surprised, Anastasia? But you're on someone's hit list.
Even after telling her of the threat she faces, she doesn't show any fear or hint of surprise. It makes me uneasy.
Don't tell me you think I'm joking. Well, I'm not. This is a very real threat.
Oh, don't get the wrong idea now. It's not that I don't believe what you said, Natsuki, but this really is nothing to fret over.
Nothing to fret over?
Are you referring to your Iron Fang?
Rem, who'd mostly been sitting quietly until now, throws a hat into our conversation.
The Iron Fang.
They are my company's private military force. Mimi is one of their rank. She may look cute, but she's actually the deputy captain. She didn't just come with me for a stroll. She's also serving as my bodyguard for the day.
I've seen the Iron Fang in action firsthand, so I know what they're capable of. Especially how reliable their members are, like Ricardo and Mimi.
Subaru, it is likely Miss Anastasia has experience being targeted and is aware of such situations, considering her position.
That's why I have my own private army, my cute little kids. I appreciate the warning, Natsuki, but this isn't something that needs more attention drawn to it.
In a position like hers, she's often on a rival's laundry list. That's why she has her private army, for self-defense. I understand her reasoning behind that, but...
He's different from your run-of-the-mill assassin. I really don't think your Iron Fang would win against him.
Mister, did you just say that we would lose?
The next moment, the tip of her large staff is thrust up at my throat. I don't even hear the girl return.
Mimi and everyone else are super strong. We do our best for my lady, and we definitely won't lose. So don't say that. Bad.
Miss Mimi, please lower your staff. Rem is also not here just to accompany Subaru.
Oh?
Rem pushes the end of the staff away from my throat, but she has a threatening look in her eyes, clearly ready and willing to fight. The two stare each other down, and things turn tense, as if they're about to go at it at any second. It feels like a fight is about to break out. I swallow hard.
Yes, that's enough bickering. Mimi, put your staff away and come sit on my lap.
If you say so, my lady.
After that, Mimi happily jumps up into Anastasia's lap. The tense air disperses, a weight seemingly lifted off of my shoulders.
Subaru, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Good job on holding back, Rem.
It was still a dangerous situation. If Mimi weren't so cute, Rem's patience would have surely run out.
I guess it's important to look cute, huh?
Sorry if my Mimi surprised you, but you should know well by now. This is just how Mimi is, and so are all the others too. I trust in my Iron Fang. They'll protect me from any threat. So, while I'll consider your warning, Natsuki, rest assured that no matter who comes for me, they will be repelled. That is my answer to you.
In that case, all I ask is that you keep more guards around you. Then, at the very least...
There's no need to worry about that. After all...
Anastasia smiles as she slowly looks around the entire tavern. Then,
They're always with me.
oh, creepy. At her prompt, every single customer in the tavern stands up in unison. Seeing them all looking in our general direction, I realize that they're all beastmen. That means they're all part of the Iron Fang.
I see. So I was just preaching to the choir, huh?
I'm not sure what that means, but does this reassure you, Natsuki? Thank you for your time, and for being so considerate. I've come to know you quite well now, so do come see me if you ever need anything. Of course, if it's something I'm particularly interested in, I'll gladly put a stake into helping you.
My lady, is he a guest of honor or something?
That's right. He's a very important client of mine. Good job remembering that phrase.
Yay! Then he's Mimi's important client too. If you're ever in trouble, you can come talk to me too, mister.
Aw, allies made. Overwhelmed by all this, Rem and I tepidly leave the tavern.
You were, how do I put this? Quite amazing.
That's one way to put it, but I agree. So, that's the real Anastasia.
I know it's only logical that it happened, but the way they treated us was much different than when Emilia was around. It's enough of a difference that I'm honestly surprised at how kind she was toward Emilia.
We still managed to warn them, though I'm unsure if they took it seriously.
At the very least, they did not outright ignore your warning. Miss Anastasia does not appear to be so intolerant.
If that paves the way to something greater, then I'd have no complaints.
I can't tell if the impression we left on Anastasia from our meeting today was good or bad, or if it had any influence on her. She doesn't think I show her any ill will, at least.
I can't rule out the possibility that she'll think I'm incompetent if I come to her with useless information. She does seem like the type that has no patience for incompetence.
Since we're not part of her inner circle or anything, we'll be evaluated by how much we can bring to the table.
Telling her about the assassin didn't do much, so I'll have to prepare something more suited to her palate next time.
But what could she possibly want?
She's a merchant, so maybe something she could profit from.
I'm positive one of your outlandish ideas will resonate with Miss Anastasia.
Thanks for the support. That was you being supportive, right?
In the end, it isn't clear whether my meeting with Anastasia yielded any results. Thus,
Next is Priscilla, but...
Is something worrying you?
Well, if you ask me, there's nothing about this that I don't find worrying.
I've only met Priscilla the once, having that pompous exchange with me in front of the Appa seller's stall. But even though it was just that once, she left more than enough of an impression of being a pain to deal with. And that guy with the helmet, Al, was it? Including him, they're the strangest people I've met, bar none.
I honestly don't know where to start with them. Do you have any ideas, Rem?
This is not my forte, but I believe it would be rude to make an appearance without a gift in hand. If you know of anything Miss Priscilla might like, it would be a good idea to bring it with you.
A gift, huh? But what would she like?
We only met the once, so I can only go off the impression she left behind. My impression of Priscilla...
She's gorgeous, selfish, and conceited. She's also very eccentric, ignorant of the world, and red.
Red, you say?
Yeah, very, very red.
So something red that Miss Priscilla would like.
That's pretty tough. Wait a second.
Talking it out like this makes me realize the one red thing Priscilla is interested in. It's Appas, isn't it? And that very thing...
What's up, kid? So, you like this place enough to come back, do you?
Oh, you remember me this time. I must be moving on up in the world. I never thought the day would come that you'd recognize me.
Don't make it sound like I can't put a face to a customer. It It ain't easy remembering someone who only came by once over a month ago. Ah, but the pretty girl you've got with you is different. I always remember pretty faces.
Thank you. But please take a good look at Subaru. His gallant appearance is not so easily forgettable after a passing glance.
I don't know about gallant, but some people have said my eyes haunt them in their dreams.
I don't agree with the young lady, but you've got a messed up sense of humor, kid. Anyway, you came all the way out here. Am I wrong in thinking you didn't come just to chat?
Of course. Or, well, I want to say that, but...
But... Oh, right. Your message. Don't worry, I passed it along. His expression changed when I told him, though. Not sure what that was all about.
I understand your curiosity, but it's not something I can talk about openly.
Doesn't bother me. Nothing good comes from sticking your nose into other people's business anyway. Besides, the old man helped me out once too, so it's no problem.
Then I won't pry either. Who cares about what happened between two old dudes anyway?
Shut it!
Sir, about our business here.
Ah, right. So, what do you want? You are buying something, right?
Yes, we're paying customers. Relax. But before we do, I want to ask you something. Have you seen a princess in red walk by here today? Or maybe yesterday?
A princess in red?
I know it's really vague, but how else do I describe her? Once you hear that, you know exactly who Priscilla is. I decided to get her some appas that she found so interesting as a gift for her when we visit her. But if she's already stopped by here and bought out the shop herself, it would be pointless. Fortunately, the stall still hasn't closed, so there were no traces of Priscilla's bulk purchase here.
So, did you?
I'm not getting it. Who is this red princess you're talking about?
Seeing him shake his head means that he really doesn't know.
Never mind. If she didn't immediately come to mind, you must not have seen her.
I still don't get it, but what does that mean for you? Are you not gonna buy anything if this red princess of yours didn't stop by?
The opposite, actually. If she did pass by, there'd be no reason for me to be here right now. So, in that case, I'll be taking 10 appas today, too. Everyone loves when I bring them a good batch of these.
Well, that's great. I'll get them ready for you.
Thanks.
Appa's as her gift. Will they really be enough?
I get why you're worried, but this is our best shot. These will whet her appetite for sure. Although, the reason she's interested in them is a bit strange.
Either out of ignorance or her noble upbringing, she doesn't know about whole, unpeeled appas. If I emphasize that point, she should be excited to take them.
Now, let's just hope the manor Al told us about isn't empty.
Why, if it isn't Subaru?
Voice. I'm not sure who that is, actually. Sakura? I'm guessing Sakura, maybe.
That voice.
That's right.
It is!
Sakura. Do you remember?
Oh, what a coincidence meeting you here like this.
You've got that right. Subaru and Rem, was it? So we meet again.
Sakura, whom I met rather unexpectedly, shows us a soft smile.
It is a pleasure seeing you today, Miss.
She had come to Roswell's manor as an emissary along with Tiga, but I was unable to meet with her at the church yesterday.
Sakura, thank you for your visit to our manor as an emissary the other day.
Oh no, that's just part of my job. Did you two come to the royal capital for business too?
Yep. We went to pay a visit to the church yesterday, but...
Yes, I've heard about that from Melty and Tiga. Oh, that reminds me. You've heard, haven't you?
Huh? About what?
Oh, come now. Don't be like that. About Melty, of course.
Oh, that. It was more like Melty blurted everything out on her own.
How would I be able to contact them while hiding the fact that I know Melty is a royal candidate? I was really concerned about that, but Melty, being the airhead she is, let everything slip out, which was rather convenient for me.
Well, secrets always find some way to leak. It's not as if we could hide it forever anyway.
You mean...
Sakura surprises me for a moment. It's almost as if she's talking about what's to come tomorrow. What did I miss here? Tomorrow, they'll discuss the delay of the royal selection at the castle. Does Melty's camp know about that already?
Well, it makes sense for them to know about it. I guess?
Tiga mentioned it before, but Melty was the last royal candidate to make herself known. Because of that, they accepted the responsibility of delivering the news to Roswell. If, during all this, they were in frequent contact with the Council of Wise Men, they may have heard something they weren't supposed to yet. On top of that, the mediator of the civil officials, Rickert, is one of Melty's sympathizers. I wouldn't put him past letting a few things leak out here and there. That's why.
The secret couldn't be hidden forever. You can't stop people from flapping their gums after all.
My, what an interesting expression. Flapping their gums. Yes, that's exactly it.
Sakura nods along with my statement. She generally gives off a gentle impression, but the air about her has become tense.
Miss Sakura,
What is it?
what business do you have here? Is it in regards to the royal selection?
No, not at all. I was dispatched as Melty and Tiga's overseer, after all.
Their overseer?
I didn't know that. Melty and Tiga are childhood friends, so I thought you were just as close to them.
Oh, don't get me wrong. They are quite dear to me. However, I follow the will of the church above all else. Well, to be exact, I obey Mother's wishes.
Mother? Is your mom some bigwig in the Transcendent Dragon Church or something?
Her mom's like the dragon, isn't she? That's my bet.
Oh my, aren't you a curious little thing? If you keep up this inquiry, Rem and Miss Amelia will broil in jealousy, you know.
Well, Emilia doesn't get jealous, but Rem certainly will, I'm sure.
I will not be overridden with jealousy over this. Even if I was to be broiled, I would be broiled to perfection.
That's an interesting expression.
Well, anyway, while I support Melty, I have no reason to fret over her campaign.
But the church wants Melty to succeed, right?
I avoid mentioning anything about her goal of becoming the next ruler, considering where we are. But even without mentioning it, it's still implied.
At any rate, the royal selection will make a decision before long now. Call it a hunch.
I'll keep that in mind. Let's do things honorably and duel this out fair and square.
Very good. Though Melty and Miss Amelia are the contenders, not us.
That's true, but still.
I scratch my head at her candor.
Well, I don't want to intrude and be on the receiving end of Rem's glares any longer.
Rem would never be so impolite. But thank you for your consideration.
How very cute. Now you be careful, Subaru. Treat a girl wrong and you'll come to regret it later.
That feels threatening.
If you mean Rem, then I already know that firsthand.
I've been on the receiving end of Rem's torment before. It's been firmly embedded in my mind that making these girls angry never ends well.
Man, she just didn't let up. Anyway, funny seeing her here.
It would seem Sir Tika and Miss Sakura are advisors to Miss Melty. Rem was being cautious, but we should both be wary of letting any sensitive information slip.
I think we did fine. I don't remember saying anything I shouldn't have.
Even though I am prepared for it, I don't think I'll ever get used to probing others like that. I wonder if there's a way to make this easier.
Hey, kid!
Oh, whoa. What's up? You scared me.
Don't give me that. I already finished getting your appas together, so I was waiting for you to finish your little chat.
Oh, we apologize for not noticing sooner. We will pay right away.
Thanks. You know, my customers wouldn't be happy for making them wait so long. If I was busy, that is.
It's kinda sad that you'd acknowledge that.
Shut it! Here's your appas and thanks for the business.
Pushed away by his intense voice, we shuffle off to our next destination, the estate of the Red Princess, Priscilla.
This is Miss Priscilla's manor.
Well, it certainly looks the part. There's gold everywhere you look. And the courtyard's filled with all these strange-looking sculptures.
This is my first time actually coming here, but as I thought, this place is beyond anything I ever imagined.
You think there's a solid gold statue of Priscilla around here? If they have this much bad taste to show off, you'd think they'd go the extra mile.
Whoa there. That's awfully rude of you to say when you came to peep into someone else's home.
That voice.
You're lucky I overheard you and not the princess. Otherwise your head would be on the chopping block. Words can lead to war, you know.
Subaru, please stand back. This man is highly suspicious.
I get it, but calm down, Rem. I know he looks extremely weird, but he's on the other side of the gate. That can only mean...
He is a dubious home invader.
No.
No!
What a funny little lady. And she's got an equally amusing guy with her. Look, I won't say anything, so just scram. The princess is more fickle than a cat, so you'll be in big trouble if you offend her.
Thanks for the warning. But while a part of me would love to go home, I can't just turn back now.
Oh? So you're saying you have a reason to be here, then? Exactly what kind of business do you have with us?
Let your princess know that the envoy of royal candidate Amelia has arrived, and we'd appreciate a little chat.
And you've gone through the trouble of stealing away my time. So this must be of appropriate value, no?
Priscilla tilts her head slightly at me, wordlessly pressuring me with just as much intensity as Cruchet or Anastasia. But unlike those two, who pressure me at opportune moments, Priscilla threatens my very being with her constant, frightening aura. Cruchet and Anastasia occasionally turned into lionesses as they were talking, but Priscilla is always in that heightened state.
All I can do is shrivel away under this lion's gaze.
I get how you feel, bro. If you stay quiet like that, the princess's mood will change in a snap.
I know that! And who are you calling bro?
Isn't that obvious? I'm talking about you.
Be quiet, Al. I am the one making conversation here. When did I ever give you permission to interrupt?
Right. Shutting up now.
Al waves his one arm and goes quiet in an almost detached manner. I wanted to question him some more, but it looks like that's not going to happen now. If I take my eyes off Priscilla, my head will definitely be rolling. I've died in this world plenty of times to at least know how deadly Priscilla can be.
Well, first off, thank you for granting us this audience.
Cease your pointless preambles. Do not waste my precious time. Be quick about it and get to the point.
Got it. Then first, take this.
Engulfed in her intimidation, I nervously hold out the bag of appas. Unlike at the stall, the appas feel like heavy rocks in this frail bag inside the palace. I start doubting if this was the right choice for an offering. No, I can't hesitate here. The die has long been cast. All that's left is to hope for a favorable outcome.
And what is this?
We thought it'd be rude to visit empty-handed, so we brought a gift. I got them from a stall I'm fond of. I can guarantee their quality. Not to mention,
What now?
I thought they might pique your interest in some way.
Al?
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Al takes the bag at Priscilla's orders. He peeks inside and tilts his covered head.
This is your gift to the princess?
Yep. You can inspect it to your heart's content, but that won't change what it is.
Inspect it? Hey, little lady. Are you sure this isn't some kind of mistake?
No, there's no mistake. That is exactly what Subaru bought.
Oh, come on.
Oh, he legit has one arm. After hearing our answers, I can almost see the bewilderment through his helmet. Seeing her knight's confusion, Priscilla impatiently rests her chin on one of her
What
hands.
is it, Al? Don't just stand there in confusion for so long. Show me what you brought.
That's, well, I'd love to, but I think it'd just anger you, princess. I can't imagine you being too thrilled over this.
I shall be the one to decide as such. Do not make me repeat myself, Al.
Yes, your highness. This is what they've gifted you.
Al casually walks over to Priscilla and shows her the contents of the bag. Her response will decide Rem's and my fate. Thinking of it that way, maybe I shouldn't have brought Rem along. She'll be a witness to my downfall. Oh, ouch. Although, if Priscilla does go off the deep end, I don't know how I would escape without Rem.
Please don't let it turn out like that. Please.
As I fervently beg and plead for my life in my mind, Priscilla's expression changes when she peeks inside the bag.
What is this strange fruit?
I hear the exact response I was hoping for.
To think apples are originally red. It appears you have managed not to start this off with a blunder by gifting them to me ripened and unpeeled like this.
Priscilla then proceeds to eat a piece of appa that was cut and neatly arranged on a plate. I hear the crunch of her biting of the fresh fruit, and a tangy aroma wafts through the room.
Still, though.
What is it, Al? Is there an issue?
No, I know it's fine for you to eat something after it's been checked for poison. But it kind of excites me when I think how you're basically eating my leftovers.
Al, you're being creepy.
No! My armor doesn't protect me there.
Your armor literally just protects your head, so...
It's only natural for my beauty to arouse men. But do not announce it each time. Indulge yourself in silence.
Oh, damn.
I will not forbid your mind to ruminate on such affairs. Doing so would only be cruel.
Damn. Priscilla.
So, you'll let me conjure up as many indecent thoughts as I want, princess? As expected. That's what I love about...
I told you not to speak of it. You have a rather interesting master-servant relationship. Is Sir Al your knight, Miss Priscilla? Him? My knight? Do not make me laugh. He is but a mere jester who entertains me, so I keep him nearby.
Then who is your knight?
In that sense, that half-devil girl is doing the same. Do not tell me this commoner is her knight.
I may not be her knight, but don't ever call Amelia a half-devil again. I won't allow it.
Oh. Half-devil is a derogatory term for half-elves. I've seen twice now at the postponement discussions just how hurt Amelia looked after being called that. I can't let something like that slide just because Amelia isn't here.
Are you commanding me? I will only forgive such impudence once, in light of your merit in gifting me apples. My kindness will not be exerted a second time.
The same goes for you. Amelia is a half-elf. You have no right to call her a half-devil.
She narrows her eyes, doubling down on her intimidating aura. Honestly, it feels like my organs are being squashed.
Subaru.
Rem looks at me with concern from beside me. It seems like she's planning to risk her life to protect me if Priscilla were to go on the offensive. While I appreciate her resolve, I rein her in with a wave of my hand. Rem can be quick to jump the gun, so I don't want her to do anything hasty. Finally.
Princess? This conversation isn't really going anywhere. So maybe you ought to show some leniency here.
Are you telling me to yield, Al?
I know you think it means the same as losing, but I think showing some tolerance here would be a big win for you. No? I'm sure you'd get a little on edge if people started mocking you for your chest size behind your back, wouldn't you?
My breasts represent my abundant heart. Why would I ever get upset about anyone pointing that out?
Nope, too easy. Too easy. I'm not gonna take the bait.
Really? And to be honest, I've been internally calling out your big boobs all the time, but that's no!
Priscilla beats Al up, then folds her arms in a way that emphasizes her voluptuous chest. Her red eyes glare at me once again.
My jester's antics have swayed my interest. I will pretend I never heard you.
Hey, wait, what about our meeting?
Subaru, please step back.
Rem?
Rem grabs my arm and pulls me back. Priscilla curls her lips as she stares Rem down.
This demi-human maid of yours seems to be far more composed. You must find it quite agitating dealing with a companion like him.
Rem stays with Subaru by choice.
I cannot understand how you see some charm in such a commoner.
Priscilla slowly shakes her head, then abruptly points a finger at Rem and me.
I have received your gift of Abbas, and your faces have been looked over by my eyes. You may return from this audience with that honor. That is all I have left to say. I have no intention of wasting any more of my time on you.
Wait a minute!
Right as Priscilla turns her back to leave, I call out once more with all the courage I have left. The look in her eyes as she turns around is ice cold, in complete contrast to her fiery red eyes. The moment I misspeak at all, Priscilla will kill me without mercy. It's the same as when I encountered the Bowel Hunter at the loot house, or when Rem glared at me with eyes full of hatred under the sunset that time. However,
Just let me ask you one thing. Have you ever heard of a man called Wolf?
I don't care if my head goes flying off my body. It's the one thing I need to ask.
No. Are you satisfied?
Yeah, that'll do.
Then make haste and be gone, before I change my mind.
I wouldn't be surprised if she changes her mind as she speaks. My breath escapes, and I'm unable to respond.
Let me escort them outside. Be sure to leave some apples for me, Princess.
Al's casual comment is the only thing that gives my stiff legs a chance to lift myself up.
Man, I thought you were a goner for sure at the end there, bro. Huh? What's up? Why are you and the little lady so quiet? You managed to escape the lion's den alive. Shouldn't you be thrilled about that? Huh?
What's there to be happy about?
Whoa! What's with all the shouting?
That was so scary. I seriously thought she'd kill me. How the hell can you serve under that woman?
Whoa there. You became way too blunt the moment we stepped out of the manor. But I do get how you feel. And to answer your question, I'm working for the princess because she's so sexy and beautiful.
It's kind of freaky how superficial that answer is. Or maybe I should actually be impressed that you toe the line every day just for that reason?
Al has such an easygoing attitude, but I'd never be able to do such a thing for a reason like that.
You're so different from me, who works hard for the cute and adorable Mealy. Wait, hold on. Are we actually the same?
Well, that's just how men are, bro.
Al laughs loudly at me, but I really can't accept us being so alike.
However, I'm glad that you are safe. Rem thought it would be the end for us as well.
You too, Rem? Sorry for doing something so risky, but I had to ask her that.
If you thought it was necessary, then I would not have stopped you. But I just ask that you please take care of yourself in the process. Otherwise, Rem cannot help but worry.
Rem puts her hand on her chest, and I feel her concern strike a devastating blow. It's true that I crossed into unknown territory without much thought. But once I did...
I couldn't have done this alone. And you were there with me, Rem.
What did Rem do?
You were by my side through it all. So I figured you'd just take care of everything if something went down.
It was the result of relying on Rem's strength that pulled us through. Though saying as much doesn't really paint me in a positive light.
Subaru, thank you for having faith in me.
Well, apparently she liked it.
Whoa, wait a minute!
Rem is deeply moved by my words, making both Al and me interject at the same time.
That plan is way too reliant on other people. Little lady, you shouldn't be so willing to accept that.
I don't like that it's coming from you, but I can't deny it. I'll try to handle things on my own next time.
No, it's okay. Rem wants to work extra hard for Subaru's sake. Moreover, please do not take that away from me. If Rem is not helpful to you, Rem will kill you and follow soon after.
Hold up, what? If Rem is not helpful to you, Rem will kill you and follow soon after.
How could you say such a thing and still be so cute?
Boy, she must really care about you. I'm getting jealous.
I am positive you will experience the same at some point as well, Sir Al. Your first step would be to find a more appropriate occupation.
That's pretty proper advice. It may not seem like it, but the gig I got is already a steady gig, you know?
Hi, kitty.
As Miss Priscilla's jester?
You're starting to make me doubt myself when you ask so sincerely.
Rem and Al continue to have a serious conversation about future prospects. I give them a sidelong glance as I turn back to look at the mansion we just left. I'm sure Priscilla's taken us off her mind already, but she still makes me tremble. Despite having Rem with me, even I thought I was being pretty reckless. But I did get something out of it in exchange.
Priscilla didn't even budge when I mentioned Wolf's name.
Of course, if she was a natural-born liar, she could easily lie about it, even if she did know.
Anyone would be surprised when caught off guard. Priscilla didn't have any such reaction. Well, that's how it seemed to me anyway.
But, on the other end, I don't want to question things I've seen for myself anymore.
If I don't believe what I'm seeing with my own eyes, I'll never know what to base my decisions on, and I'll keep faltering at every step. However...
Now that I've spoken with all three of the potentially fake candidates, I haven't found anything to decisively point the finger at them.
Anastasia was attacked by Wolf, which gives her a point in her favor. And Priscilla didn't seem to know who I was talking about. Then does that mean it's actually Cruchet?
As of now, the only one I hadn't actively taken steps to try and gain information from is Cruchet. I only removed her from the list because I want to believe she wouldn't do something like this. But, on the other hand, I don't have anything to base that trust on. So, does that mean I should test her?
Do I really suspect her? Honestly, I never gave it much thought before.
It may be that this has been my blind spot. I need to eliminate all possibilities.
Suspect her so I can trust her, huh? Damn, I sound so hypocritical when I actually say it out loud.
A gloomy mood takes over as I hesitate about my next move. But then...
You know, I've been thinking about how the way you refer to yourself is pretty confusing.
Confusing? What do you mean?
Well, your name is Rom, right? So why do you refer to yourself as Rem?
Sir Al, now I am the one who is confused. Rem's name is Rem. Rom is Rem's older sister's name. I beg your pardon, but are you familiar with Rem's twin sister?
Al goes silent at Rem's question. Unlike his light-hearted demeanor from before, he is now deep in thought, with a serious and solemn expression that you can definitely tell through his helmet.
Don't joke like that. You are Rom, aren't you?
No, Rem would have no reason to joke about something like that. Apologies, but Rem is most assuredly Rem.
Don't mess with me.
This is oddly serious. Like, what's going on here? Al mutters to himself in a low voice. As he does, Rem's face tenses up and she jumps back. Seeing the two put distance between themselves, all I can do is watch, eyes wide, wondering what just happened.
Hey, what's going on? What's gotten into you two all of a sudden?
I'm sorry. It's just that Sir Al's expression.
Al?
Sensing Rem's confusion, I step in between the two and call out to Al. I can't see his expression under his helmet, but from the way his head hung slightly, the cheerful air about him had completely faded. Though, things don't just end there. Before I could point out Al's sudden change in attitude.
Huh?
Wolf. 1 second. For a single second, I see a figure on the other side of the road. I'd never mistake that far too distinctive get-up.
Wolf!
There's no mistaking that person. The masked freak who had been getting in our way, calling himself the malevolent masked magician. This isn't one of the days we've encountered him before, but there's no reason to let him go.
Sorry, Al, but we'll talk later. Rem!
Oh, yes. Excuse us, Sir Al.
It is Rem, right? I grab the surprised Rem's hand and start running, leaving Al behind. I can't lose sight of Wolf. We furiously chase after the black-clad man. All we can do now is run.
So that's how it is.
What is up with that?
I don't believe it. Makes me sick.
What is with the sudden attitude change? That's creepy.
Damn it. Where'd he get off to?
We find ourselves in a back alley after chasing the masked man. This place shouldn't have any other outlets, but there's no sign of that conspicuous figure.
There's just no way.
Subaru, please calm down. Who exactly are you looking for?
A huge guy dressed in black. His name is Wolf. He's an enemy of ours.
I instinctively respond to Rem, immediately clutching my chest afterwards. For a moment, I was worried that divulging such information would have that mysterious hand wrap around my heart again, but
Nothing.
when I try to reveal my return by death ability, my heart is punished by unseen hands. The pain is beyond imagination, but it seems like I am safe this time. I still don't understand what triggers this penalty, as irritating as that is. I continue speaking to Rem as she stares at me in wonder.
I know this is sudden, but he's super dangerous. If we don't stop him, we all could be in danger.
Damn it, I'm not being very persuasive. I don't have any evidence of what I'm saying, so I have to convince her somehow, but I can't find the right words to say. I need to persuade Rem somehow, and
Very well.
Huh?
We need to apprehend this dangerous man, correct? Then we should hurry.
as I rack my brain trying to find the words to convince her, Rem answers me with an earnest look in her eyes. In an instant, I become embarrassed at myself. Rem trusts in me. That's why she doesn't need any detailed explanation. And even I couldn't do something as boorish as point out such things here and now.
Yeah, let's go. But it's way too dangerous to split up. We should...
Fueled by Rem's enthusiasm, I am ready to resume my pursuit. But at that moment, our conversation over, I turn around to give chase. But for a brief moment, I catch a whiff of something sweet. My mind goes blank, wondering what it is. But then I notice someone's shadow overtaking my own beneath me.
Above us!
I immediately look up and see a massive figure descending upon me. Very excited, sir.
No way! Huh? What?
Don't you dare!
Oh, angry Rem. Rem pulls me by the collar, intercepting the surprise attack with her Morning Star. A sharp metallic sound rings out as Wolf spirals onto the ground in the alley. He looks at us with a mask that hides his true expression.
Woo, not bad. But why are you chasing me? I'll be pretty insulted if you think
think I'm suspicious just because of how I look, you know.
I was just talking to someone who looked pretty suspicious. But your sketchiness is on a whole different level. Children would get scared and cry seeing someone like you roam the streets at night. We're gonna drag you to a guard station right now.
Whoa there, that's a bit irrational. Just leave me be.
Nope.
The royal capital's a lively and splendid place. What's wrong with cutting loose and dressing up like this from time to time? That's really all there is to it.
Wolf spreads his arms and shrugs, his way of showing he doesn't harbor any hostility. Of course, I know not to let my guard down around him, so I don't fall for his act.
Rem, be careful. He may say that, but...
Please, be at ease, Subaru. Rem will not lend an ear to the words of an enemy.
Oh.
With that, Rem steps forward. Before I know it, her trusting warning star is clutched firmly in her hands.
You're carrying around something pretty scary there, little girl. You should explain to the guy behind you I'm not here to fight.
Is that all you have to say?
Ah, the creepy grin.
What?
As you can see, it is difficult for Rem to hold back, so it would be wise to speak your last words while you can.
Damn.
I see, right, gotcha. You're even worse than that guy. Your inability to listen to others is really troubling.
To be fair, you are a legitimate villain, so...
If you won't let me go, then I don't really have much of a choice. Let's have at it!
Wolf makes the first move as his words leave his lips. He draws in his spread hands, using the momentum to launch out his seemingly ordinary knives. But with 10 or 20 of them, it goes without saying how deadly they could be. With a short breath, Rem swings the chain of her Morning Star, knocking all of the daggers away. A shrill sound echoes in the alley, and we manage to get through the enemy's first move, signaling the start of the battle.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
You speak too much. Shut your noisy mouth.
A fierce battle breaks out between Wolf, who seems to be enjoying the fight, and Rem, who doesn't hide her rage for her opponent. Blow for blow, all I can do is watch.
What am I, stupid? Don't just assume all I can do is watch. Find some way to help.
The fight between Rem and Wolf seesaws back and forth. At the very least, an amateur has no way to tell the small details revealing which side has an advantage. Though it doesn't take a professional to tell who won once the dust settles. And at that point, it'd be too late to try and turn the tables.
Prevent that from happening.
I can't be careless here and get in Rem's way. I keep that in mind as I scrutinize how Wolf fights. This may be a strange way to put it, but when Rem swings her Morningstar around, it's as vicious as a small-scale tempest. Wolf uses only his body movements to evade her attacks. And just when you think a hit will land, he deftly avoids it with a flick of a dagger to avoid the impact. Seeing how his daggers don't break, his precise control over his strength is beyond proficient. His skills could be considered first class, or an acrobatic feat. Sometimes, he'll even throw a dagger with such speed and precision that Rem can't aggressively close in on him. They're perfect rivals. No, even looking at it in a biased light, Wolf has a slight advantage. In other words, if I don't step in, Rem will lose. I can't just stand here and not do anything. That's why.
Wolf! Over here!
Subaru! No, you must stay back!
Rem and Wolf tense up once they hear me shout and see me moving about. Rem grows frantic, and Wolf laughs just as his mask portrays.
Step out of line, fool. You'll regret this.
Immediately after Wolf says this, a dagger is thrown straight at me. To a congenital non-fighter like me, it just looks like a white flash. The sight of my corpse after the dagger digs straight into my forehead with no way to stop it flickers in my mind.
Subaru!
But it's just my imagination.
You knife throwers all aim for the forehead.
I quickly pull an appa out of my pocket, barely managing to block the dagger from lodging its way into my skull. That gamble paid off. I figured he'd take a stab at me if I showed him an opening, that he'd try to shake up Rem by doing so, but the outcome worked in my favor. Now.
Take this! 9 shots per second! Endless flash photography attack! What?
I'd taken out my cell phone with the appa. I pointed at Wolf and then activate the camera. A white light cuts through the dark alley, assaulting our masked foe. I try to blind him. Trying to blind him won't be effective with his mask on, but surely it gives us a chance to act.
Prepare yourself!
Don't say anything, just attack. His movement's interrupted. Rem slams her Morning Star into him. The spiked ball collides with Wolf with incredible momentum as he stands still, then sends him flying away. He flips and tumbles, and I knew just how much damage was inflicted on his body, having experienced such a blow myself. That single strike managed to obliterate half my body. It goes without saying that Wolf won't fare very well either. Wolf crashes into a wall in the alley, slumping over. He doesn't move to cry out in pain.
Did we do it?
It was a direct hit, but we should not let our guard down.
Rem looks tense, not letting her guard down as she moves closer to Wolf. Her cautionary reaction is the right approach. We can't mess up here.
Rem, he might have an ability that lets him steal mana from his opponent. Be careful.
Steal mana. Understood. Then...
Heeding my warning, Rem stops in her tracks and raises her Morning Star. She most likely intends on hitting him from a distance. Delivering the killing blow that way is probably the best choice now. If possible, I'd like to talk to him to find out who hired him, and who he's involved with. But he isn't someone who can be taken so lightly. That's why Rem's decision is the right one here. This assassin should be dealt with right here and now.
You can close your eyes if you wish, Subaru. This is Rem's duty.
Rem tells me as such without turning around, ramping up my fright at the scene. I want to say I'm fine, but I know better than anyone that it would be nothing... Better than anyone that it would be nothing but me trying to put on a strong front. The sounds of chains fill my ears. Rem is about to deal the final blow.
I won't die. Not here.
Wolf's muscles grind together as he puts all his strength into standing up, muttering the whole time.
I commend your perseverance, but I will not allow you to do any more harm.
Rem raises her morning staff, a sign that she doesn't plan on letting Wolf have his way. Right before she rains hell on him, that sweet fragrance tickles my nose again. It's the same scent that alerted me to Wolf's original attack. It all happens in a moment. Drawn by the sweet scent, I turn my head and notice a red light appearing. I realize it's fire, and it's headed straight for Rem's defenseless back.
Watch out!
I immediately jump onto Rem's back, pushing her light body out of the way. She screams, looking at me in shock. Her light blue eyes reflect light as they open wide. And then, in an instant, my body is engulfed. Holy shit. Bro.
I shout as I fall and roll around on the ground. The fire, these bright flames, burn my body straight down to my very soul.
Alright, well, given that he's actually narrating, this is probably where he dies again.
I'm being burned alive. My skin is incinerated, my flesh bursts open, and my organs boil inside me. It's... As I burn,
Alright. Being burned alive.
I'm being burned alive. It's hot. So very hot. Scorching sensation swallows me whole.
Subaru! No!
As I burn, a crying voice reaches what's left of my ears. A pale glow appears, cold water pouring all over my filleted body. But the cool relief is gone as quickly as it washed over me. Crying voice reaches what's left of my ear. Water evaporates instantaneously, swallowed by the flames erupting off me.
Oh, that's like
My
magical
body
fire that
continues to
just
fry.
keeps burning.
My arms, legs, and face are beyond repair.
No, stop! Please, just... Please stop!
Pale hands shake my broiling body. Naturally, the flames dance upon the hands too. It must be excruciating. Yet they refuse to let go. Despite being beyond the point of no return, they try to rescue me. Please, I'm begging you. Just stop. Worry about yourself. If you don't...
Superhero! Superhero!
If you don't...
Superhero!
If you don't, the villain behind you will... The voice stops calling for me. Have my eardrums been completely fried? Or did something happen to the voice's owner? I hope it's just my ears. Please, just let it be my ears. Don't let harm befall the crying girl. Please. I must ensure her victory. Please, tell me it's just my ears that aren't working. Please. Please.
Burned to death on loop 3, day 3, and returned by death. Achievement unlocked.
Saving.
Yes. Loop 4, day 3? Seems unlikely. Huh? I'm in a dark place. It's so deep I could sink forever, and so vast that I could drift away without ever stopping. I feel so helpless. I can't even tell where I am anymore. What I am anymore. Where am I? And what happened? Ah, music is fucking creepy though. This place seems so familiar, yet uncomfortable and foreign at the same time. If I know this place, when do I know it from? If I don't, then why don't I? Because this place is... A swaying shadow stands before me. Is it standing? No, I don't think that's quite right. Land nor the heavens exist here. The shadow just wavers as if it's underwater. Here, anyone who stands on solid ground is the unnatural one. The shadow whispers something. Its lips move. How can I hear those whispers? Why can I see those moving lips? How odd. It's incomprehensible. I don't get it. It can't be. It's wrong. Some sort of mistake. But I can't correct it. No more. I can't take it. Let me out of here. The shadow comes closer. The words become clearer. But I don't want to hear them. I don't want to hear any more, because if I realize the meaning of those words,
I love you.
it'll become hard for me to leave. Alright, back to day 1, I guess.
Hey, kid! Are you even listening? This conversation's over. Come on, move it. I'm running a business here.
Subaru, are you okay? If you do not have enough, Rem does not mind paying.
Okay, so the rules changed. We're not starting on day 1 anymore. Did loop 3 actually hit the proper save point? My brain processes the two. Then I slowly take a deep breath. I look around and take in the sight of the two who just spoke to me. Then I look down at my hands, opening and closing them. I can move them. I can move my feet too. And so, I push open the door to my memories. In that moment, a certain red sight flashes before my eyes.
Subaru?
I fall to my knees, and the blue-haired girl... No, It's Rem. Rem desperately calls out my name. But I can't even bring myself to answer her. I'm too busy checking my throat, skin, limbs, to make sure they didn't burn away.
Burned and died.
Just saying that out loud sends chills down my spine. In those final moments, I'd been engulfed in flames and incinerated. My throat was burning, my lungs were melting, my stomach boiling. The memory of all that pain comes flooding back. I've heard that people usually died in fires from inhaling toxic gases that make them lose consciousness, burning up in the flames afterwards. But when I died that time, I didn't even have the reprieve to faint from the gas. I was conscious through it all as I burned alive. The pain of knowing my body would be rendered completely useless broke me. The death of the body kills the mind along with it. Even now, after returning by death, my heart still burns.
It's okay. Please take a deep breath. Rem is right here with you.
Rem puts her arms around me in an embrace. I can feel the warmth coming from her body. The heat terrifies me at first, but the steady beat of her heart washes away the tension.
It's okay now. Everything will be okay. Just breathe.
She speaks gently, as if to soothe a baby, and I listen intently. The fear doesn't go away, and the despair doesn't fade. But, little by little, I can feel the infernal flames that had once burned me alive, weakening.
Are you alright now?
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm back to normal.
You surprised me for a second there. If you two kept flirting in front of my shop, I'd have gotten even less customers come my way than I already do.
Is that supposed to make me laugh?
The shopkeeper's eyes turn into a serious glare as I refrain from laughing and avert my gaze instead.
Here's the payment. I apologize for any trouble we may have caused.
No trouble at all. As for you, you need to be more aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, I'll be more careful.
The sense of defeat weighs down on me as I take the bag of appas, not knowing how to respond properly. The bag is heavy.
See you tomorrow then.
I don't think we'll be back so soon.
He sends us off with a parting joke, and we finally walk away from his stall.
Sorry about earlier. You really helped me out back there.
After putting some distance between us and the stall, I finally managed to churn the words out. After returning by death, Rem held me in her arms for some time as the shock of it all brought me to my knees. It helped me recover mentally, but my masculinity took a hit. Because of that, I can hardly look Rem in the face. It's too painful to think she might look at me like I'm pathetic.
There's no need to be so worried, Subaru. No matter what state you appear to be in, I will never look down on you. Even if you tremble like a child with tears and mucus running down your face, you are still admirable.
Alright.
I don't know if that'd make me look too admirable then. I wouldn't want to break myself down that much either.
Of course. Rem would prefer to see your gallant side as well.
Seeing her smile shatters my shield of shame and disgrace. All that's left underneath is the raw, exposed Subaru Natsuki.
Just plain old me. You're amazing, Rem.
You are more amazing, Subaru.
The fact that she even says things like that makes her all the more extraordinary.
Complimenting each other like this is nice, but we don't have any time to waste. Rem, this might be a weird question, but we just met up with Sakura in front of the shop, right?
Yes, we did see Miss Sakura. She previously visited the manor as an emissary of Miss Melty's camp.
So that means...
I take a deep breath, now convinced my thought was right. My save point has changed drastically from before. Up until now, it had been locked at Arlem Village a few days ago, but now it's changed. It's been updated to a few hours before we run into Wolf unexpectedly.
To be honest, there's still a lot I don't understand about my ability, but...
There was that battle for the insignia at the loot house, and the fight at the manor about my curse. Those have been my only 2 previous return by deaths. Each of my save points to return by death didn't change during either of those incidents, but now it has. It may have shifted, but I can't imagine all of our problems have been taken care of.
I don't even know who's behind all this, so I can't keep relying on my ability.
I've returned by death. I can say with confidence that each time I have, I've changed the result of the impending disasters. But I can't rely on this power. It's way too risky to keep clinging to something or someone that I don't know when they'll disappear. And above all, I'm afraid to die. It's painful. It's terrifying. I don't want to make any plans where my death is needed to reset.
I need to think about this positively.
Now that my save point has moved, I can't change anything that's happened before today or after the official announcement of the royal selection's delay. Emilia didn't come to the royal capital this time, and we've already met with the other royal candidates. All except for Priscilla. Speaking of, she's been the focal point of everything we'd been doing from this point on. I take a few deep breaths to calm myself. I can't afford to make a single mistake from here on out. All the suffering I've been through would otherwise be wasted.
Rem, I'm going to Priscilla's manor now. I know where it is, but there's something else waiting for me there.
Something else?
It's what I mentioned at the tavern earlier, about someone going after Anastasia. I want to warn Priscilla, but I have a feeling that guy will show up there.
I debated on how best to tell Rem of the situation, but with little time left, I decided to be blunt. When Rem and I cornered Wolf last time, he was wandering near Priscilla's manor. He'd already gone after Anastasia, so if he's targeting royal candidates, it makes sense that he'd go after her too.
Then you will be warning Miss Priscilla as well?
I'd like to say yes, but
If I talked to Priscilla, she'd keep an eye out for Wolf. While that'd be good enough for her, I don't know if that'd be enough. Last time, I told Rem to kill Wolf because of how dangerous he is, but it would be better if we could capture him instead. Remember that he muttered something in his final moments. I want to find out what all he was trying to say. Once I do, I should be able to get to the bottom of
I
this.
need to prepare. Will you join me, Rem?
There's no guarantees this will work, but this has always been how I fight. I dive into the sea of the unknown and launch a torpedo based on vague information. I'm always scared to do it, so I need someone who will give me that final push.
Yes. Please tell me what you would like me to do.
Rem's enthusiasm is exactly the push I need. A shadow slowly rises from the darkness. It scans the surroundings, nefariously sneaking about.
Rem, did you see that?
Yes. So, that is the suspicious person you mentioned earlier.
Rem and I lurk behind anything we can find, carefully squinting into the darkness. That's definitely Wolf. Just as I expected, he appears as we keep watch at Priscilla's manor. I doubt he'd suspect that anyone would be lying in wait for him to show.
Let's go after him.
Are we not to engage him here?
That'd be good if we were able to just talk to each other, but I highly doubt it'll play out that way. And if a fight were to break out here, he could end up running out into the open and getting a bunch of innocent people involved. Ideally, I'd like to find out who he's working for. But if that's not possible, then I'd like to contain our brawl somewhere it won't involve anyone else.
Understood. Rem also prefers to battle somewhere where there is no interference.
Rem agrees with me, albeit for slightly different reasons. But now that we're both on the same page, we continue after Wolf. He enters an alley and moves deftly to the right and left. We trail after him, trying not to lose sight of him, but also trying not to be seen. We keep a good distance, but stay on his tail.
Where's he going?
At the very least, I know Wolf won't harm Priscilla today. If he did, I would have heard about it during my previous loops.
No, I shouldn't make assumptions here.
Last time we came to the royal capital was the first time Emilia wasn't with us. Wolf attacked Anastasia and I then. It's hard to say if Emilia not being around will affect Wolf's actions. Come to think of it, it's possible his target shifted to Priscilla precisely because Emilia wasn't present.
We can't lose him, and we definitely can't let him see us. That makes trailing someone all the more difficult. So, you ready?
Yes, Rem is ready.
Alright, good. Then let's go.
As we keep up our painstaking pursuit, I realize the environment around us has completely changed. We'd come from Priscilla's prestigious manor to a place like this.
Something's off.
Subaru?
The place we're in now reminds me of the slums. We aren't anywhere near Priscilla's manor right now. Last time we ran into Wolf, it was because he was snooping around there. We won't be able to recreate our meeting from before, and that means... we should probably keep some distance from him just in case. I've fought Wolf 3 times now, even being killed by him one of those times. Our first encounter was when Anastasia was with me. We were attacked in the shopping district in broad daylight, despite her Iron Fang protecting her. After that, Rem and I were ambushed in the back alley, but we couldn't take him down. And the third time just happened recently. We managed to box him in a corner, but he killed me with his fire magic, the ace he had hidden up his sleeve. Wait a minute, I remember getting killed, and Anastasia was in danger too. But what about everybody around us? Did anyone even get injured? Could he have been making sure not to harm any innocent bystanders?
That can't be right. It has to be a coincidence.
These are the slums. It's where I met Felt and Old Man Rom. Everyone here, including Felt, has the same motto, live strong. They're surprisingly kind to those who are weak, too. But now's not the time to be thinking about that. I need to focus on Wolf.
Huh? You need a weapon? Well, all this scrap lying around should be better than nothing.
Subaru, will you not chase after him?
I will, but I think we've gotten a little too close. That guy's extremely dangerous, so let's keep some distance between us, just in case.
I see. Understood. Let us take care not to get too close then. Subaru!
Rem, let's keep going after him.
Understood.
Oh, I probably should have done other stuff in the building. That's fine.
If you think he's spotted you, I want you to charge in right away. Any hesitation could mean your life.
Understood. If I suspect he has noticed my presence, I will attack immediately.
Rem, he spotted us!
Rem attacks the moment I call out to her. A spiked iron ball spins about with incredible momentum as it closes in on Wolf's back.
That was a close one. Don't get the jump on me like that. All my preparation just went down the drain.
Wolf laughs loudly as he dodges Rem's attack with ease. He leaps into the air and turns around. I grip my teeth and glare at the masked enemy in front of us.
When did you figure us out?
I knew the whole time, fool. If you're going to tail someone, you'd better learn how to do it properly. I can smell your animosity a mile away.
Well, excuse me for not having many opportunities to sneak after someone. I'll consider your advice for next time. Anyway, we're gonna slap the old ball and chain on you.
Do you mean her ball and chain?
That is quite enough. There is no more room for discussion. We will get the answers we seek from you by force if needed.
Whoa, whoa, you're pretty scary for someone with such a cute little face. But oh well. If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you'll get. Not like I've got a choice anyway, with you lot glaring at me like that. Don't blame me if you end up in the dirt.
Oh.
Damn it! He knew we were on his tail since the start. We totally fell for his bait.
That would seem to be the case. We are left with no choice but to fight him.
Stay calm. I need to keep a level head.
His ability to drain mana from those he touches and the fire magic he uses when he's cornered are the aces up his sleeve. Since I'm already aware of that, we have a good chance of beating him as long as we take precautions. What sort of person is he anyway? Seems to me he's just the plain old crazy. That Sin Archbishop Betelgeuse was definitely a total psycho. But what about this guy? His words certainly make it... His words certainly make it seem like he isn't all there. But there's something noticeably different between him and Betelgeuse.
Why do I think that?
Betelgeuse invaded the royal capital to find Amelia. Because of that, numerous innocent bystanders died at the hands of the witch cult. Betelgeuse is a genuine psychopath, but it's true he'd killed me before. There's no denying he's capable of murder.
Thinking back.
When Anastasia and I were attacked, we were in the middle of the shopping district. He attacked us in broad daylight, but I can't remember a single bystander getting hurt in the process. Then, when we fought him later, we were in a secluded back alley. I don't have much to base anything on, so it may have been a coincidence.
There wasn't a single person around this time either.
If he knew we were following him, then the whole time, he could have attacked us whenever he felt like it. He could have even gotten the jump on us if he struck before we noticed he was onto us.
Gotta think about this.
If he went out of his way to bring us to some secluded area, maybe he didn't want to involve anyone else. Which would mean he might actually be a pretty good guy.
No way. Rem, I want to go over a few things before we fight that guy.
Yes, of course.
Remember to keep an eye on his hands. He can drain your mana if he touches you.
Drain my mana?
Yeah. He can even absorb magic with his hands.
Understood. I will be wary of his hands.
Good. It's too risky to fight him close up, so watch his hands when you use magic too. Just use your Morning Star and keep your distance.
Understood. Thank you for the information. This will be very helpful.
Alright. You should be good to go. Now, to figure out what I can do.
I cannot have you be put in any danger, Subaru. Please stay somewhere safe and watch as Rem fights valiantly.
Thanks, Rem. Well, I want to say that, but that won't fly this time around. That guy is really powerful. Even you won't be able to beat him so easily. We need to work together.
But I can't do very much, so what should I do here?
And now...
There are scraps of wood scattered on the ground. Using these scraps as a weapon might be better than fighting
Even I
empty-handed.
should be able to get him to lower his guard. I'll do what I can with what little power I have.
Subaru, can you explain what it is you plan on doing?
Well, I was thinking of using these wood scraps to attack him. Do you think that'll work?
No, I cannot agree to using such a tactic, especially considering how strong a foe we will be facing.
Then how about I set a trap?
A trap?
Yeah. Attacking him directly might be too dangerous for me. But springing a trap on him isn't as risky. There are a bunch of wood scraps scattered around here, so maybe I can whip something up.
That's true. That would indeed put you at less risk.
Right? So, are you okay with that idea?
Yes. But Subaru, I ask that you do not forget to stay out of harm's way.
Now then, is there anything I should check before we fight Wolf? He's already gotten the best of me several times before, so I need to be careful.
I think... Oh, Rem! I almost forgot something important. He can use fire magic, so look out for that too.
Fire magic?
Yeah. I don't know the specifics, but he can definitely use some sort of fire attack.
I see. So not only can he drain mana, he has fire magic at his disposal as well?
That's right. But I don't think that's all. He has some sort of special attack that he uses when he's desperate. So don't let your guard down even if you have him cornered. You might end up getting blasted away by his fire.
Understood. I will not let my guard down even when he is cornered, and be wary of his fire attack.
You ready? There's no need for goodbyes. I'll send you both to the afterworld together.
If only, my dude.
Sorry to make you wait. We were just going over our plans to beat you. It's a shame, but I'm gonna make you regret giving us the time to prepare.
Oh, come on. Don't make me laugh. Regret. Me? Oh, man. I may just die from laughter here. In your dreams.
A shame, really. This would have been way easier on you if you did just drop dead right now.
Oh, I'm really gonna enjoy killing you. Let's get it started then, shall we? I can't wait to see how many seconds you'll last.
Get ready, Rem.
Yes! Rem will give it her all!
You got this, Rem. Be careful.
Alright, yay. We're playing the tactical game again. Oh my god, flowchart. Okay. Fail a mission and die for an extra thing. Oh, I did miss something. Alright, well, we have one more loop to get through, so we're gonna die again.
Let's get a record of that, shall we?
Provoke, use scraps, beware of fire attack.
Right. I'll use the wood scraps to set up a trap. I'm good to go, Rem.
Very well, Subaru.
I won't be able to...
Let's do this!
Prepare yourself! Hal Yuma!
Yes.
I'll be taking that.
He absorbs magic.
Damn! He can absorb magic too?
We knew that already.
Right? It's ready.
Understood.
Alright.
We'll be at a disadvantage if this drags to do that. I need to give Rem better orders.
I wasn't aware that was an option.
Not yet! Rem can still fight!
Rem! Hit!
Understood!
That was a good one.
Uh-oh.
Rem! Hit him with your Morning Star!
Understood! Take this!
Appreciate you moving me, Rem.
Black.
Rem! Rem! Now! Ah! Damn it! Pesky little...
Wait, this game has gameplay? Yes, it has very, very limited gameplay. In the 12 hours, I think this is the 4th or so fight I've been in.
Let us go now, Subaru.
Eat this!
What?
Damn it!
Oh my god, this... Whack him. I guess. I don't know, man.
Subaru! Rem, you cannot go on. Please, run away!
Rem! I can't just leave you behind!
Please, Subaru, run!
No, stop talking! I'll be right there!
No. Stay.
Oh my god. And she's dead.
Rem! Don't die on me! Rem! You bastard! Wolf! I'll never forgive you!
Oh, and just what are you gonna do about it? Better save her quick, or I'm gonna end her here and now.
I won't let you kill Rem! I'll save her, even if I die trying!
Oh, that's rich! I'd love to see you try. It's far too late now. Couldn't you have done more to protect her while she was still alive?
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
But, oh my god, the model, the face is just awful.
Wolf! No! You shut up! Ah!
Honestly, I might have been in trouble before we Too bad, kid. What a shame.
Tim, it can't end like this. I will protect Rem. My body grows weak. I remember this feeling. This is how I felt when Bayako drained my mana. I feel so weak. My consciousness is fading away. I can hardly keep my eyes open. Red.
That's right! You're finished!
And me. No. All my mana is drained at once.
I try to speak, but the only sounds I make are gibberish.
Oh, come on! I thought you were prepared! I ain't got all day now! Let's get this show started already!
He changed his face again.
Get it together, Subaru!
It looks like my new save point is right before we fight Wolf. Luckily, he hasn't decided to strike yet. But there's no guarantee he'll keep waiting for us. There's no need for him to wait until I've recovered in the first place. I somehow managed to steady my swaying body.
Sorry to make you wait. That was pretty gentlemanly of you, watching and wait instead of striking at such an opportune moment.
Ha! Don't make me laugh, fool! What makes you think I need special opportunities to defeat you?
Oh, really? I'll make you regret that decision.
Good, good. I'll really have some fun killing you. No more waiting around then. Let's get this thing started.
Fine by me. All right, Rem. Let's give him everything we've got from the start!
Yes, Subaru. Rem will give it her all.
What to do?
Right. Set trap. I guess we set both those traps. And then regroup with Rem.
Let's do this!
Prepare yourself.
Right. Now I can actually give her orders. Fire magic, since he's at distance. Yeah, okay. Alright, and since they're close, Morningstar time. Run. Humera. Zap, zap, zap. Run. He gets in front of it. Okay. Now I can trigger the trap.
All right.
What the? Damn you! Damn you!
At a distance, so blast him.
You're a piece of work.
Alright. Look, I just need him to get under the trap. So run.
Rem, be careful!
Understood.
No? No, it can't be.
He's not quite under it, so I don't think that's good enough. Say I don't think he's gonna move under it, so alright, well, here's hoping the one trap was enough, I guess. Oh, I think it was.
Not bad.
This is the end.
We'll see about that.
I can sense how satisfied Wolf looks, even behind his mask. In that moment, the fire that had killed me flashes in my mind.
Rem, stay back! He can also use fire magic!
What?
El Huma!
Wolf looks shaken up as his flames collide with Rem's ice magic. Both light up the sky with an intense eruption, sending a blast of hot and cold wind throughout the slums.
Damn it! How did you know about that?
These lips are sealed. This is your last chance to negotiate your way out of this. If you tell us what we want to know, you could save yourself from some pain.
Don't make me laugh. You'll spare my life if I yield, eh? Don't give me that crap, you damned liar! What good would that do me? Yeah, and another thing. Just like you, I have my own reason why I can't back down.
Red lights appear around Wolf and turn into flames. Looks like he's taking this seriously now. Now we're back on even ground. With that,
It's obvious who the enemy is now, isn't it? So come out already!
What? Why are you shouting now?
Good grief. No need to be so bossy.
Al? A lethargic voice responds to my cry, but despite his unenthused words, his attack packs quite the punch. Wolf immediately leaps back to evade the slash of his blade.
Who the...
Ah, I missed. My bad, bro. We should probably retreat now.
Like hell we will! This is playing out exactly like I said it would. Just help me out here like you promised!
Fine, fine. Jeez. I'm really not cut out for this sort of thing, bro.
So, you've prepared yourself an ally. A ridiculous-looking one at that.
Hey, you're one to talk. What's with that getup? You're trying way too hard.
Al and Wolf glare at each other, and the clash between the two most strangely dressed men in the royal capital begins. Honestly, I'd have liked to just watch and laugh if this wasn't my problem, but this is a matter of life and death.
Rem, back Al up! I want to capture this guy alive!
Yes. Allow me to join you, Sir Al.
Appreciate the help.
Getting up on the little guy, huh? You're more heinous than me.
Wolf leaps over Rem's and Al's simultaneous attacks and points at me. My life's on the line here, too. After overcoming so much to get to this point, I can only feel annoyed by his comment.
You're starting to sound like a sore loser!
And you're sounding awfully high and mighty for a spectator.
Rem's and Al's onslaught cuts off Wolf's escape route, forcing him back into the fight. Al's attacks don't seem extraordinarily fast or anything, but his movements and positioning are incredibly precise. He covers for any of Rem's openings, supporting her offense.
Ah, damn you!
Ha! Yeah!
The chain roars like a beast, and the iron ball snapping at Wolf with ferocious power. Wolf rolls on the ground to evade the attack, but then...
Too bad, so sad. Looks like your luck's run out.
Al swings his curved sword, and Wolf instinctively raises his hand. The next moment, fire erupts all around Al, the red flames flickering off of his iron helm. I raise my voice in a panic, but it's too late. Al is engulfed in the intense flames and is reduced to nothing more than...
I already told you, didn't I?
resistant to fire, I guess?
You're out of luck.
It all happened so quickly. The moment it seemed like Al had been consumed by the fire, he deftly dodged the attack and drove his sword through Wolf. The sword pierced through Wolf's side, deeply damaging him from the inside. That means...
We're out of commission now. We won!
Hearing my victorious voice, Wolf shakes his head in denial. He then grips the sword in his stomach and lets out a long breath.
Hey, man. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I may only have the one arm, but I won't be loosening my grip anytime soon. You try to pull that sword out, I'll twist and wrench it out myself. It'll be bye-bye to your guts then. Do you still think...
I can't stop here. Not until I secure their victory.
His voice trembles with pain, and he glares at Al through his mask.
Oh, crap. Casey,
Sir Al, what is...
Al immediately lets go of his sword and puts his arm around Rem's slender waist. He lifts up the surprised Rem and sprints away from Wolf at full speed, turning to me and shouting all the while. I don't get the chance to ask him what's going on, as a moment later, an explosion of light surrounds us. A flash of red emits from Wolf, a shockwave blasting the air right at us. So this is what it feels like to be hit with an air blast. The shockwave reminds me of the time Reinhard blew away the loot house. I roll around on the ground, holding my head as I wait for the heat wave to subside. I'm still not entirely sure what happened, but I just hope Rem and Al got to safety in time.
Subaru! Please wake up, Subaru! Subaru!
What was that explosion?
Subaru! Are you okay?
Rem, what about you? Are you hurt?
No, I am fine. As for Sir Al...
Oh, he died protecting you.
don't kill me off like that. So that'd be a pretty badass way to go. But I'm still alive here.
Damn. Way to kill the mood there, bud.
Al, you're alive!
Of course I am. Burning to death is really painful, you know? Just imagining it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But why'd you make it sound like he kicked the bucket, Rem?
Sir Al's back was terribly burned while he was protecting me. I did treat it with some healing magic, but...
Getting burned is painful as hell. Even if it is just the tip of a finger. I'm going through that pain right now.
That's so? Well, thanks for protecting Rem. But there's still...
I cut our conversation short and look around. Seeing as we can have a casual conversation like this makes me realize something. I suspected it would happen, but...
So, Wolf got away, huh?
Yes.
all he left behind is his evidence of his power from the parting blast. The little corner of the slums that we're in is now nothing more than blackened ruins.
He really was something else. Scary to think a guy like him was peeping on the manor. I wouldn't have had any idea if you didn't warn me about him.
I know it was hard to believe me. Aren't you glad you did?
I contacted Al before we decided to trail Wolf. Like last time, I'd gone bearing the gift of Appas to meet them. But after was when I warned Al about Wolf and the threat he posed. Al doesn't know me all that well, so he was obviously skeptical at first.
You were just so insistent that I decided to check things out, because I couldn't just ignore you. And here we are. That guy was definitely off his rocker. But I can't imagine he'd accidentally blow himself to smithereens.
That's true. Man, what a pain.
Could his objective be to interfere with the royal selection? If so, perhaps he knows who was spying on Lord Roswell's manor.
Maybe, but it's hard to say for sure. All I know is that there are a lot of factors at play here.
I've also considered this before, but there's a good chance Wolf and the witch cult are unrelated. If the witch cult is targeting Amelia, why would Wolf go after the other candidates? That can only mean...
That guy must be working with someone affiliated with the royal selection. Might be a royal candidate to boot.
And that's why...
Come on now. Don't tell me the thought never crossed your mind. There was always a chance of political conflict between the candidates. Oh, it's happened sooner than I expected. Any one of them could have figured out they'd become the next ruler if the other candidates were out of the picture. There's nothing surprising about that.
Yes, Rem agrees. Even if the royal candidates themselves did not give the order, their supporters could have easily acted on their own as well.
The candidates and their supporters.
As I listened to Rem and Al's conclusions, all the candidates in their camps flipped to my mind. There's Cruchet and her knights, Ferris and Wilhelm, who work at the manor, Anastasia and her knight, Julius, along with Ricardo and Mimi of the Iron Fang, including Mimi's brothers and the other beastmen, Priscilla and Al, who's standing before me, and the young servant at their manor too. There's Felt and that ultimate knight of hers, Knight F. hers, Reinhard, and I bet Old Man Ram is probably with her right now too. Finally, there's Melty and her knight Tiga, along with their supporter, Sakura. If the royal candidates and their affiliates are suspects, then the culprit has to be one of them.
I don't suspect you guys, of course. Seeing as we just fought together and all.
The same goes for Anastasia. Wolf also attacked her.
That's so. And that puts my princess, yours, and the merchant girl in the clear. That narrows down the list a bit. Maybe it's not so hopeless after all.
Little by little, we trimmed down the list of suspects, but having seen all their smiling faces at one point or another, it only leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I wish...
You really helped me out today, bro. I'll be telling the princess about what happened here. She can be pretty fickle, though. She may thank you for this later, but I wouldn't hold my breath if I were you.
As I listen to Al, I stare at the charred remains that Wolf left behind. I just wish that, when this is all over, we can all go back to smiling again.
Things still go as expected, and the meeting to explain the delay for the royal selection will be tomorrow.
Alright, Okay, cool. That is actually a good point to save and call it, I think.
I record this?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching. 3 hours of reading and 5 minutes of gameplay, everybody. This was ReZero Prophecy of the Throne. I'll let people know if I recommend it at the end of the game, but so far it's not leaving a great impression. Thanks for tuning in tonight, though. We'll double save, just in case.
I shall record this.
It'll leave it in a loop for day 4. Lag will be back on Friday with possibly more 7 Days to Die or possibly some single player. So join us then around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, I will catch you guys next time. Have a great night, everybody.